Senusret III, or Sesostris III, or Senvostret III, or Hellenized form Sesostris III, Kakaure Senusret III, was a pharaoh of Egypt. He ruled from 1878 to 1839 BC during a time of great power and prosperity, and was the fifth king of the 12th dynasty of the Middle Kingdom. He was a great pharaoh of the 12th dynasty and is considered to rule at the height of the Middle Kingdom. Consequently, he is regarded as one of the sources for the legend about Sesostris. His military campaigns gave rise to an era of peace and economic prosperity that reduced the power of regional rulers and led to a revival in craftwork, trade, and urban development. Senusret III was among the few Egyptian kings who were deified and honored with a cult during their own lifetime. Senusret III was the son of Senusret II. Three wives of Senusret III are known for certain, all three mainly known from their burials next to the pyramid of the king at Dashur. Amenemhat III was most likely a son of the king. Other sons are not known. Initiatives: Senusret III cleared a navigable canal through the first cataract of the Nile River. This was different from the canal of the pharaohs, which apparently Senusret III also tried to build. He also relentlessly pushed his kingdom's expansion into Nubia from 1866 to 1863 BC, where he erected massive river forts including Buhen, Semnas, Shalfak, and Toshka at Uronarti. He carried out at least 4 major campaigns into Nubia in his years 8, 10, 16, and 19. His year 8 stela at Semnat documents his victories against the Nubians. Another great stela from Semnat mentions his military activities against both Nubia and Canaan. Such was his forceful nature and immense influence that Senusret III was worshipped as a deity in Semna by later generations. Jacques Morgan in 1894 found rock inscriptions near Sahel Island documenting his digging of a canal. Senusret III erected a temple and town in Abydos and another temple in Medabut. A double-dated papyrus in the Berlin Museum shows year 20 of his reign next to year 1 of his son Amenemhat III. Generally, this is presumed to be a proof for co-regency with his son, which should have been started this year. According to Joseph W. Wagner, year 39 hieratic control note was recovered on a white limestone block. Semna boundary stela, the region known as Simna, was located in Nubia. It was established as a fortified area in the reign of Senusret I. One of Senusret I's major achievements was the conquest of Lower Nubia, which was later consolidated by Senusret III. In general, in ancient Egypt, boundary stela served the purpose of demarcating territorial lines, acting as a notice that the demarcation was to be enforced. When Senusret III built various fortresses along the Second Nile Cataract as a militant frontier guard against the Kerma kingdom, he also constructed 2 monumental stela at the forts of Semna and Uronarti. The stela reiterated Egyptian dominance over Nubia and called for future authorities to preserve the boundary. The text clearly reinforces Senusret III's expansionist policies. The stela was replaced during the 18th dynasty to be incorporated into shrines for mortuary cult worship. Burial: Senusret's pyramid complex was built northeast of the Red Pyramid of Dashur. It far surpassed those from the early 12th dynasty in size, grandeur, and underlying religious conceptions. The complex of pyramids was constructed in 2 phases. The second phase included an outer brick wall which was surrounded by 6 smaller pyramids for the royal queens. There is also an underground gallery with further burials for royal women. The final 7th pyramid served as the king's Ka pyramid with a statue of himself inside for worship. Senusret's pyramid is 105 meters square and 78 meters high. The total volume was approximately 288,000 cubic meters. The pyramid was built of a core of mud bricks. Tomb at Abydos. There has been speculation that Senusret was not necessarily buried at his pyramid, but rather in his sophisticated funerary complex in Abydos. Under this interpretation, his pyramid would be a cenotaph. The mortuary temple at Abydos is 30 meters below the surface and extends below 180 meters. The mountain where the tomb is located was known as the Mountain of Anubis and was used as a conceptual link of Senusret and the gods. The design of the tomb is likely symbolically representing the descent of the sun into the realm of Osiris. Royal statuary: Senusret III is well known for his distinctive statues, which are almost immediately recognizable as his. On them, the king is depicted at different ages, and in particular on the aged ones he sports a strikingly somber expression. The eyes are protruding from hollow eye sockets with pouches and lines under them. The mouth and lips have a grimace of bitterness, and the ears are enormous and protruding forward. In sharp contrast with the even exaggerated realism of the head, and regardless of his age, the rest of the body is idealized as forever young and muscular in the more classical pharaonic fashion. Scholars could only make assumptions about the reasons why Senusret III chose to have himself portrayed in such a unique way and polarized on two diverging opinions. Some argue that Senusret wanted to be represented as a lonely and disenchanted ruler, human before divine, consumed by worries, by his responsibilities. At the opposite, other scholars suggested that the statues originally would convey the idea of a dreadful tyrant, able to see and hear everything under his strict control. More recently, it has been suggested that the purpose of such peculiar portraiture was not to represent realism, but rather to reveal the perceived nature of royal power at the time of Senusret's reign.